another show. Don't get this twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
I'm doing good, Rob. How you doing?
Oh, it's a Monday and I'm off. And
we skipped a week.
We did skip a week.
I didn't even realize that until you texted me. I was like, wait, did we skip a week?
We did. Funny thing is I had a week anyway, and there's a bunch of other weeks coming up. I'm about to have nose surgery in a week and a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, it's okay. We will probably have to record a couple of shows in advance because I'll probably sound like this for a little while, at least 8 days. So probably better to get one in while I still sound like a human being instead of a robot.
I hear you. But
besides that, not too shabby. Life is interesting as always because, well, it just is, but not bad. It's not bad at all. So
I get you.
What about you?
Things have been really cool. We sold our baskets, my cousin and I. We sold our baskets at a powwow for the first time. And we did really well. We sold more than half our inventory. Wow. We were asked by 4 different colleges to go and do a demonstration / class on basket weaving. And we were invited by Disney to do a special event for their employees in Burbank at their studio. And we were they only wanted 5 vendors, and we were considered and then approached for being one of the 5 vendors that are going to be at this event that they're having. So things have really popped off with that, and I wasn't expecting that. When we decided to do the powwow, I said, let's just do one powwow, and then we'll see if we like it to see what else we could do. And we've just been overwhelmed by the interest in the baskets, and also in teaching and doing different things. So we're kind of overwhelmed right now and trying to figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it and see what we can make for this next event. But oh my gosh, it's like life has completely changed. I haven't been on my bike in like a month because every time I get a free day, we're weaving and doing things, and my house is in full construction still. So that's always a good time. I'm excited for that to get done. I don't know when that's going to happen, but hopefully soon. And still trying to work and be normal. And the Dodgers won last night, so we're going to the World Series, which made my cousin and I very happy. And I don't know, life has been busy, but happy. It's been happy. Cool. So I can't complain.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, we're going to talk karma because I asked my friend down the street for some subjects because I went to lunch with her, and she sent me a plethora of them because she always has something on her mind as well, which is super awesome. But she's like, karma, is it real? And, do you actually reap what you sow? And I thought, that might be an interesting one because I have mixed feelings about it, but we'll go with it. So let's start from there. Do you believe that karma exists and it'll come back and get you?
I do believe that karma exists. As a matter of fact, my friends give me a lot of shit about it. They're like, does it exist? Because bad people never seem to have anything happen to them. And I'm like, just hold on. Everybody gets their comeuppance. I'm convinced of that. You have to be the best person that you could be because karma is not just getting the negative, it's also getting the positive. If you're a good person, positive things will happen to you. For instance, I several times over the past probably 10, 15 years, I would say at least 4 times, I have left my wallet somewhere. And every time I leave it and I backtrack and I find it, nothing's missing out of my wallet. Nothing was wrong. Everybody knew, oh yeah, you were here and it was sitting at the table. So I gave it to the manager and the manager has it. So let's go and talk to them. And I believe that's because I have good karma coming my way because I've seen a wallet in the street, picked it up, and I put it in the mail and mailed it back to the person. And then the person sent me money for doing that and didn't have to. I didn't ask for anything. I just put the whole wallet back in the mail to them. Or found a set of keys, and I had to go around the neighborhood asking who dropped their keys, and finally found the person that had lost their keys. And they lived a couple blocks away, but through talking to people, I was able to get back keys. And I don't do it for any kudos. I do it because it's good to be a good person. And if I lost something, I would want somebody to think, shoot, I should give this back to her or try to find her. And because of that, I've always had really good luck with stuff. I'm not the most, I'm not the one that pays attention the most. So I feel like I've lost things and I've been given them back because I do good deeds, or I try really hard to get stuff back to the other person. But I also know, for me, because I am a believer in karma, I believe that my shitty karma is instant. Like, I'll say or do something crappy, and then I'll turn around and trip and break my toenail off, and now I got a bruise on my toe or something. And I say to my friends, I'm like, see, that's freaking instant. I can't say anything shitty and then turn around and not get it back. I'm glad I get it back instantaneously, because I feel like I at least I know what I'm doing wrong, and I got a great get right all of a sudden. But I do believe in karma. We don't always get to see it. And I think that's the problem with karma.
Right. I'll agree with that. I think, look, do I believe that you get what's coming to you? Generally, I do believe that. I've done some pretty shitty things to people when I was younger. And I shouldn't say shitty. I've just, we all do something that, you think, I kind of did that person wrong. Mostly when I was like a teenager or my early 20s. I did my best not to do people dirty, but, we all do something that comes back. And I think that I've paid for it, long period, like, oh, maybe this is just long karma. Like I'm just still paying for it today.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with that. You don't see a lot of it, because I've seen some shitty people, and I mean like borderline psychopaths that still haven't got it, or I just haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting. There's an old roommate of mine. I can't wait to hear that something bad happened to him, because I will giggle like a schoolgirl.
You know what it is I tell people we're not ever going to know if they're getting their karma, because we don't know what they're feeling. We don't know emotionally what they're going through. Like, people could have a shit ton of money, always have a shit ton of money, always seem like they come out on top. But, behind the scenes, are they happy? Mm-hmm. Are their wives staying faithful? There's different things. Like, everybody gets theirs. We just don't know, how it's coming at them.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say, if you're happy and you're having a good day, just go with that. Just be happy and have that good day. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, and don't set yourself up for something crappy because you want bad for them or you want to set them up.
Right. Yeah.
Excuse me.
I do kind of agree with that look, just if you're having a good day, maybe karma's already been paid for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that karma doesn't come with small things. Like, at least that I don't. I think karma is a big thing. When you do bad shit to people, it comes back on you. And
I think it comes big and small, depending on, I believe that nature has a way of balancing us out regardless. Whether if you're doing good, you're going to get good back. If you're doing bad, you're going to get bad back.
Right.
It's just going to happen that way.
Yeah. And look, I think we all pay for things, whether they're short term or long term. If you've done bad, it probably comes on you pretty quick. At least that's how I believe.
I don't know. I don't know if it comes in quick, but it'll come in with a vengeance. That's for sure.
That is very true. I think that when you see, at least in my life, there's things that have waves that have came in where you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And then you kind of do have to kind of look back on your life and go, "Oh, I kind of did that to this person. Maybe
Yeah.
it's on me now." And, you know, that's probably true, because I think if you do someone dirty, or you do something that you just know is wrong, there's payment
Hmm.
for that.
Always. There's always
Always.
payment.
And sometimes the payment is harsh, and sometimes the payment is you know, forever, like forever payment. Like, you, no matter what you do. We'll see if it's like relationship shit. Like, I, for my deeds that I've done people dirty, or done something that I shouldn't have, I think I've paid that. And the karma gods have punched me in the dick more than once, and was like, hey, you did this, and now you have to see this, or you have to remember this, or you find out later on that the person that you were with, did it. So there's a lot of things that, you're right, kind of come back on you,
Hmm.
and I think we need to learn from those things, not to do shitty stuff, because karma's a bitch. Like, that quote is very, very poignant, and
It's
it'll
a
get
bitch
you.
if you're on the wrong side of it, for sure. But also, how many times has luck been on your side? That's also like a karmic thing where
So
you
do you think there's good and bad karma?
absolutely. I
Okay.
believe in nature, and I've always believed in nature. And if you notice, nature is always about balance. There's no, there's the sun and the moon exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or after rain, there's a rainbow. I believe that in nature there's birth and there's death. Everything has a balance. Everything is balanced, and so your balance, if you're doing well and you're doing good, you get good set back to you. If
Mm-hmm.
you're an asshole and you're always an asshole, there, then you're always going to have these problems. You're always going to see things differently, or you're not going to have this sense of happiness and fulfillment because you're being a jackass. But you don't know how you're going to get it or when you're going to get it. That's not up to us. It's up to the karmic gods. And I do
And
believe in them. I do believe in that.
I look, I think that if you're doing right, or you're doing good for someone, I do think that comes back on you at some point in your life when you
Mhm.
really need it. The things come back around to kind of balance that out and tell you that, yeah, we remember when you did this, and we remember when you did that, and when when you gave the guy food at the McDonald's when he was sitting outside. you know Sometime you're going to come back, and your friend down the street is going to give you a meal. Whatever it is, like, there is something that the karmic gods pay forward, for sure,
Yeah.
because I've been in some shitty times. Like, when I lived, where was I living then? Off of, I think, Satakoy. I was in, fuck, I don't even know what city it was. Winnetka, I think. I was going through some rough times, and I had a buddy who, his dad owned a KFC in Reseda. And whenever I wanted to, I could go there at night and pick up food, because I was hurting at the time. Like, I was
Yeah.
very, very bad, rent, food, and I wasn't making a lot then. And I owe that guy more than he knows, because he fed me and kept me going when, I was eating, and this is no exaggeration. I had ramen, I had gallons of Kool-Aid from the Vons on the corner, and I had macaroni and cheese with a little bit of milk. That's what I was
Wow.
eating, as much as I could. So the flip side of that is, when I went there, he would just go, "Hey, take whatever the fuck you want." And I would take home, and I mean shit tons of food, and he would keep me
Yeah.
going. So later on in life, we went down the roads together, and he ended up in a place where he needed me, and I could come back on him and repay that debt. But the gods, they come back on you. I mean, look, that's why we pray. The not for karma to kick in, but just to know that there's somebody out there listening and leading us in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I think that karma does come back on you. That's why I do my best, mostly at this young age of 50 something. I try not to shit on people no more. I don't need that in my life.
You shouldn't. At this point, we should know better. Like here's an example. So I've been taking our friend back and forth to physical therapy because he had a knee replacement and he can't drive, and his family doesn't live anywhere close where they could take care of him. So I'm just helping him. No big deal. We go to the grocery store. We go to his physical therapy, and I have fun. We have a good time together. And he keeps saying, I need to know how to repay you. I don't know how to repay you. And I'm like, when somebody else needs help, help them. Help them. That helps my karma. That helps your karma. That brings everybody up. So if we all level up, if we all try harder, if we all be mindful that everybody needs somebody at some time, and it could be us at any time, then it's easy to do these things. And that too is karma. That creates a positive situation where everybody wins. And I'm always saying that. I don't know why I always say that. And I don't know why I even believe in it, because, not everybody that I know believes in karma. They're like, they're just going to be an asshole for the rest of their life and nothing's ever going to happen to them. But then I think, but are they happy? Do they really have the love that they want? Are they living the life that they have? Because if they're not, that could be miserable. They could be living in misery, and we don't see it because that's how they are all the time.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes you see people who are just shitty people, and I believe that karma's getting them daily. Like, they may seem happy, but they're really not.
Well, and that's how you measure it. Is a person happy? I always try to be a good friend, and I think you could attest to that. I always try to be honest. I always try to give my soundest advice that I have for the age that I am, and because I was not always appropriate, so let's just be honest. But I always tried to give the best advice I could and be the best person that I could. But then I remember when I was 40 and I was trying to get pregnant, and my hormones were out of whack, and I miscarried, and my daughter ran away, and my mom died, and I found her, and the house was robbed, and the cat was killed. That happened all in 4 months' time. And I kept thinking, what did I do? What did I do to get all that? Like, that was horrible karma. Or was it? And I thought about that because, now that I'm 52, 53, I don't even remember, 53. Now that I'm 53, I look back at that whole situation because I'm still trying to figure it out. And I think that those were all bad things that had to happen. It was all things that changed the course of my life. But maybe my good karma was that it hit me all at once, so that I only had to feel that pain one time instead of 5, 6, 7 times. We don't know why things are the way that they are, but we have to believe that something and someone is looking out for us, and that if we're good, we will get good. And I've come through that whole situation, and you saw me during COVID when I was trying to get divorced. I was not happy at all. I was going through it, but you find your way back. And if you're happy, if you could be happy and you could find your footing again, then you're on the right track. Everything will work out. You just have to believe. You have to have faith. You have to know you're strong enough to get through whatever it is you're going to get through. And you should be leaning on people, because that's what creates this karmic, flip. They depend on you. You depend on them. You work together. You don't, I always tell my friends when they say, I take them out. Oh, well, I'll give you money or I'll pay you. I'm like, no, let's just stay friends long enough to where you help me, I help you. And it'll all balance out in the end because that is nature
Mhm.
and that is karma. If you treat me good, I'll treat you good. That's just the way it rolls. And because of that, we don't have all the hangups that a lot of people in their friend groups have. We all look out for each other. We all help each other. And in turn, we're taken care of too.
Mhm. Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to the belief system of yin and yang, right? If
Yeah.
if you're doing good to somebody, it's going to come back on you. And it, look, at the end of the day, you know, being good is better than being bad, right?
I don't know.
Um,
Sometimes I like being bad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, bad, like bad, bad. Um, but yeah, I think there's something to be said about um how long it takes because yeah, I kind of agree with you. It's like sometimes it's like, God, this guy's just a prick and it's coming back. But like my friend down the street says it best, assholes live forever. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So it's like one of those things where like you're just like, please, can this one person just get a fucking comeupping and you know get a fucking punch on the chin because they've just been shitty for so long.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is if you're a good Christian person, you don't wish anything bad on anyone.
Yeah. But sometimes you just have to. Sometimes,
Th-
and this is what I say, I hope you get what you have coming to you. You know what
Correct.
I mean? Like, put it out there like that. Like, yeah, whatever you got coming, I hope you get it. Whether it be good or bad, if you deserve it, if you've only done shitty things to me, but everybody else you've been great to, I hope you get your good karma. I just want you to get what you got coming. And I want you to remember it too.
Right. I there's a very small list of people that I have um I don't want to say hate for, but definitely some people that if something bad happened to them, I wouldn't fret over it.
Yeah.
And again, these are people I don't even know. It's just through stories, but the people that have told me these stories, I think are very, very credible. I have read some text messages from these people that just make me sick. And I think that those are the people that karma is chasing down, right? Like
Yeah.
if we're being chased by death, like we all are, there's karma that chases people. And these people they're being chased. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Just because of the absolute shittiness of somebody
Hmm.
that it's coming. And it's funny because we were talking about one of these people and she goes to me and she goes, because this guy is kind of a narcissist. And
Narcissist.
yeah, he's he he's very big on his looks. And the first thing my friend said, and thank goodness he's losing his hair. And it was one of those things where it's like, don't worry about it, bitch. You're gonna be bald at some point. And
Yeah.
and it's not like bald like he can shave his head. Like he's already thinning in front and in the back. And he's only like 30 something years old. So,
Mm.
like karma is a bitch. It's gonna come and get you. You might be a pretty boy now, but at some point you're gonna be receding hairline boy. And that's what's gonna get him because those type of people need that kind of karma. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
so for me, there are people out there that deserve everything that they get. I am very much a believer in that.
Negatively and positively.
Yeah. Look, there's good people out there that do good things for people and they generally still get treated like shit.
Yeah.
And it comes back on you. But see, I think what comes back on you like that is you do all this great stuff for people. And then when they need it, you can go, no. And that's karma. If you've done all this great stuff and then now they're shitty to you and they need something again, you can go, No. And there's
But
karma revisiting.
here's the flip side. Okay, so I do hair. Every effing person that I cannot stand, and I mean literally, if they were to just fall off the face of this earth right now, I wouldn't pay it no mind, nor would I even know it happened, because I'm not paying attention to these people. If I don't like somebody, I just don't even put my energy into them at all. But every last person that I've had a huge problem with in life have come back to me to do their hair. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why somebody would want to come to somebody after they've done what they've done and think that they're going to be walking out of the shop beautiful. Because all I want to do is put my hand on the back of their head and take my clippers and just go around my fingers and leave what's left there, take off the rest, and justifiably so. Like I would be justified because these people have so wronged me. But at the same time, I could up my karma by tenfold by being nice to people that didn't know how to be nice to me, and make them feel good while they're sitting in my chair, and make them look as good as they possibly can for as ugly as they are. And I've taken the high road every time. I'm not holding that position though. One day I may snap and give somebody the handprint on the back of their head.
Right.
But I found that I'm a happier person because I don't buy into the shit. I do their hair. I think they're crazy. I was like, I would never go to somebody that I thought didn't like me. I just went through that with one of my ex's friends came to get her hair done, and she had told him, oh, she doesn't like me. And I thought to myself, then why in the hell would you want to get your hair done with me? That's just my thought. But I did her hair. She was very comfortable, and it was no skin off my nose to do that. I got to show her that she was wrong about me. So you see, karma has a way of flipping or changing the outcome of whatever happens depending on how we do it.
Right.
And I'm not wasting my karma on somebody that I don't like, to be honest with you. And she was right. She's not my favorite. She's a lot to deal with. And I stay away from people like that, but I was still kind. I still did everything I was supposed to do. I still made her look pretty when she left, which is my job. And I'm hoping that I put the good karma in the bank, because sometimes I want to be an asshole and tell somebody something stupid, and I will. And I'll be like, it's okay, because I've got karma in the bank. Nothing's going to kill me. You know what I mean? I still may get shit on for what I did, but at the same time, if you're a good person in general and you try as hard as you can, you don't have to be perfect. And it balances out too.
I kind of like the way you're putting that out, though. I think there is something to not feeding in to someone.
No.
That is good karma. Not even feeding into it at all. Because I've seen people out there that are in very odd relationships, and I mean, through either boyfriend, girlfriend, mom and dad. There's so many different kinds of them, but ones where you just don't feed into it, where you're at a point in life where they might do something to you and you now just step back and go, no.
Yeah.
I'm not that you don't, you're not pissed over it, or you're not, mumbling to yourself, but you're not going to feed into it for them, because you don't want them to get anything from it. So you're feeding good karma out and going, no, let them think what they want. Let them do what they want. Let them, whatever, because now it doesn't matter. And I'm not going to let that, bring me down or, put me in a different direction to where I might do something shitty or say something shitty or, act a certain way. I believe that you're right. It's putting good karma back into the air and going, no, we're good. I'm going to do what I'm kept doing and let the karma gods decide what they're going to do for everyone else.
Oh yeah. And it's unfortunate, but I I feel like there's been friends in my life that I don't speak to anymore, that I let live in my house, that I let be a part of my family, that I let be a part of something that they never had. And they blew it. They don't have that now. There's not an in for them. They don't get my goodness. They don't get to sit down and have me listen to all their problems. They don't have me picking up their kids from school. Well, not that their kids are even small anymore, but I mean, nobody's there in my place doing all the good that I would have done had we just kept our relationship the way it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's karma there too.
Yeah.
There it
Oh
is.
no, that's for sure.
Because, one friend in particular I've known since the age of 5. Well, both of her parents are dead. I wasn't there to support her. And I know what it's like to lose a parent. I lost mine first. And I know what that's like to need somebody that remembers. Like my friends, I have a couple of friends that go, "Ooh, you sound just like your mama." I love that. Not that I
Right.
love sounding like my mom, because she did not have the best voice, that's for sure. But I like that somebody could remind me that I do sound like her, that I did say something like her, or that I was I reminded them of her. And we get to talk about that. And that's such a sweet position to be in, when somebody says, "Oh, you're just like your mom," or, "Oh, your mom just came out of your mouth," or, because my mom was not the sweet, let's bake some cookies mom. My mom was like, "You could come, you could stay here, I'll take care of you, but don't be an asshole and wash the walls when you're done spraying your Aquanet hairspray, because I don't want sticky walls." Like,
Right.
she would be the one, she'll let you stay there, but she's going to tell you, you have to do your part. And I still have friends, when they spray hairspray in their own bathrooms, they go and they wipe down the wall behind where they did it, because they remember what my mom said.
Right.
I love that. Like, I love, or I had a friend the other day I said, "Oh crap, I'm going to be leaving at 2:00 in the morning." And my friend said, "Ooh, your mama would be so mad. She would say, 'Be home before the bars close.'" And my friend says, "I think about that every day. If I'm going to be late getting home at 2:00, the bars close. So pay closer attention, because you shouldn't be on the road." And that comes straight from your mom. And I think about that all the time. And I, so I look at how she lived and stuff, and here she got to be her, but she also created a lot of good karma, because she took care of everybody,
Right.
and she helped everybody, and she left lasting impressions, and that's kind of how I want to be. Now that she's gone and I see what she's left behind, that's not a bad way to be.
Mm-mm.
And she definitely believed in karma. And sometimes she would say, "Fuck waiting for karma. I'm going to get even." And she took it on her own hands, and she did what she needed to do too. And I thought, there's that. You could dish it out, but in return, remember that there needs to be balance. So
Yeah,
it
because
may come
karma comes back
back.
on you with that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But karma's also will use you as a tool to get their point across. So, you just have to be willing to take whatever you've created.
Right. It's a it's a touchy thing where it's look, karma. My friend down the street was the one who talked about this, and she's a very true believer in karma. And talks about some people who haven't got it yet, but it's coming, and it
Mhm.
always does come back, and it could be like in the smallest form. They might have done something very, very, very shitty, but the karma is something small, but it's still meaningful. And I think
Mhm.
that those are the things that where karma gets you, where you have to sit down and go, "Fuck, I would have just
Yeah.
did this better. I wouldn't be in this position." And mostly if you cut corners, I think cutting corners is a big part of karma. If you cut corners to get someplace, it generally comes back on you. You're like, "Oh man,
Mhm.
I shouldn't have did this, or I shouldn't have done that." And and it's true. Look, I would have told you in my 20s, early 30s that karma wasn't real. I've seen too many people do shitty things and nothing ever happens to them. As you get older, you start seeing the receipts come back, though. I think that's the bigger thing. You go, oh, yeah, this is what happened. Or this guy was an asshole to her. And now look what happened. This happened. Or this, this boss was a prick. And then they get fired. And you're like, karma.
Yeah.
You're doing this the whole time and it comes back on you.
But
So,
just like that friend of mine, because she screwed me over, she doesn't have access to my family. She doesn't have people that could remind her that she is like her parents. She doesn't have somebody saying, this is how you get through that, or let me assist you or talk you through you dealing with the death of your parents. She doesn't have the goodness. She
right.
blew it. She blew it. And that's karma in itself. Your absence is karma. You're not wanting to deal with certain people because they're shitty to you. That's karma. They don't get you. They don't get your goodness. They don't get your lessons. They don't get your laughter. They don't get your knowledge of the past. They get absence. And that is very much karma.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to teach my boy that be careful, what you do to people. And he's pretty good, but his attitude sometimes is very much a target for karma because he has a very ho-hum way of looking at things when it comes to human beings. Like we were talking the other day and I had told him that I think one day me and him are going to do a podcast, just me and him, and talk, because we were talking on the couch one day.
That would be a good podcast.
Yeah. And it was just us talking about like girls and relationships and how we see things and, how I see where I'm at and where he sees where he's at and kind of going down this road. And again, very surface level things, but we brought up a bunch of stuff. But he talked about being treated a certain way by a girl. And he was very, very much like, yeah, Dad, this is what's going to happen. If they say this to me, I'll never talk to him again. And I was like, wow. And he goes, yeah, I've already done it. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to be treated shitty. Now, I was like, that's in a way good. But it's also in a way bad, because I think that you may be giving up something, and this is long term. Obviously, my son's only 21 and I don't think he's in a hurry to like marry anyone. But I said to him, be careful what you're talking about, because once you get into a serious relationship, you can't just say, fuck it, I'm not talking to you anymore. You have to be able to reassess the situation. And having that kind of attitude is not good for your karma, because it'll come back to bite you. Because if you're like that to someone, that's going to happen to you as well. And it's going to hurt you really bad, because they're just going to be one day, and not talk to you anymore.
And there's something beautiful about forgiveness. There really is. Like, to be able to forgive and to move forward and to have it not be something that is hurting you anymore. That's resolve. That's getting through things. That's finishing it in completion to where the karma doesn't have to have an effect.
Well, or that you also don't wish the karma bad on anyone anymore.
I always say, I don't wish you bad. I just wish you not here, because I don't want to deal with your ass anymore.
Yeah.
That's real. That's
okay.
With
that. And look, the people who do you bad, the karma's coming. It's a matter of when. It always
does. Yeah.
It's just a matter of when.
We don't know how or when.
No.
But trust and believe they're living it.
Yeah. And like you said, it could be any form of karma. Like it's not even has to be the same kind of thing that comes back on you. It's just something's going to come on you. And it's generally bad, and it's generally the same kind of thing. I try to tell people, look, in anything, any kind of relationship, mostly boss relationship, if you're in a supervisory position, be very careful about what you say, because the upward part is great when you make it up there, but coming back down is hurts a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
because you know you end up either getting fired or you end up getting demoted, and then you're right back into the grind with the people that you just shit on. That's karma. And I've seen it happen. I've seen somebody who became a pretty big boss and then ended up working right back aside next to all of
Mm.
us. And there was a big fat plate of crow that had to get eaten. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll come back on you. If you're shitty to people, it's coming back on you,
Well,
because
and
what's
we're
going to end
given.
up, Mhm.
Go ahead.
I just
Go
like
ahead.
in a relationship, if you're shitty to somebody, the next relationship that you get in, it's going to come back on you. That's why you got to be good to people and truthful and upfront, because when you're not, that karma comes back on you. And the next thing they're gone, or they're sleeping with somebody else, or this happens. So, it's karma's there, and it rears its ugly head, and it generally does it at the worst time.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but when for relationships, this is my belief. You want to try to leave people better than you got them. You want to put the goodness in, whether they're a shitty person or not. You put it in, and then when you're done, be done, and walk away. But don't leave them worse off, because the next person you deal with will be the first lesson you have to learn, is that you have to deal with what you left the last one in.
Yeah.
But the flip side to that is, if you truly believe in karma and you truly want to be happy, you want to pick somebody that wants to love you and wants to do right by you and wants to give you what you're not getting, what's been neglected in your life.
Mhm.
And you have the choice. You could take it or you could leave it. But if you leave the good, then you get stuck with the shitty. If you take the good, you might just be happy in your life, but you have to believe you deserve it, and you have to believe it's real. And people may hurt you. You may get hurt all over again, but that's loving somebody. Love comes with pain. Love comes with hurt. Love comes with people not being perfect. But if you want to get off of the roller coaster, you have to go where happy is
Right.
and forget all the other bullshit. Because once you're out of the relationship, it's just bullshit. Let it go.
I think with family relationships, karma rears its ugly head as well. Where, if someone ends up being shitty to you and then really, 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 really needs you, that's karma kicking in. That's
Hmm.
and look, even if they did something horribly shitty to you, you're going to help them. Like, let's say it's your mom, and you had a bad relationship with your mom. If mom needs help, you're going to help her because it's your mom. The karma is them having to ask.
And the karma is that you're overcoming what you didn't like and you're still rising above. So
That's the good karma.
that's karma. That's still karma. Everybody thinks that karma is a negative thing. It's not always negative. It's balance. Karma is balance. So if you do right by somebody that really fucked you over, then you get more good karma and your life will be more peaceful. Doesn't
Perfect.
matter what the other person does.
I agree. I again try to be a good person. If you're a
Yep,
good person, then the karma will always come back on you. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
it's mostly these days, I would say I do my best to just wake up and try to do good, because being shitty takes a lot of work,
Hmm.
and I've seen what people who do shitty things to people and what it does. And I want to be the last person that does that. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to get my good karma meter up a little bit,
I get that. And
you know?
even in friendship, like when I was 40 and I had to get rid of those friends that I was talking about in that whole situation, I sat without friends for a couple years. I really pushed everybody away and just said, maybe I need to reinvent myself and see what I'm doing wrong so that I could have a better situation. And I have the craziest bunch of friends now, but they're very loyal, they're very loving, and they show up. They
Mhm.
show up. They're there for me, and we could be different and we could still have fun, and I don't have to worry about being judged or being told I'm wrong because we're all we're all just realizing it's not even worth it, you know?
Mhm.
So my karma was I got a really good batch of friends now, and I wouldn't get rid of them for anything. And most of them are batshit crazy. There's something about every one of them that's not perfect. And that tends to be what I love the most about them. So karma does find a way back.
Uh, yeah, I think I've learned over the years as well that most of the people who aren't crazy or broken or a tad off, they're the ones you want to be around.
Yeah.
They're the ones that make you feel normal. And I think that's the bigger thing.
I'm all
And
for a good character.
yeah, I'm all for just people that don't have to wear a mask in front of me.
Yeah.
And
And
the
that I
people
don't have to wear one either.
correct. And well, my friend down the street is a good one. I don't wear a mask at all. And sometimes I think that people around us think we wear a mask just because we're bonkers or we do crazy shit or we're a certain way. I refuse to do that, and I know I know for a fact she doesn't because she can say things off the cuff that, and then she'll go, "I told you I was an asshole." I was like, "Yeah, I know." So these are the things that generally I'm hoping that the people around us like that karma has already hit us in the past and we're being who we are and are moving forward and being good folks. So to me, that's what I think that I've learned from the things around me that karma's pretty spot on. It's coming to get you at some point. Really just be good to each other and hopefully we won't have to worry about that.
Try to be happy.
Yeah. Well, there we have it. We're going to say goodbye for this week. Make sure you check us out on the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, X. And yeah, check us out on Apple, Spotify, pretty much everywhere you can listen to this damn show. We're on now. And share it because someone's been sharing because we had one day like crazy amount of people and all over the place. Someone in England listened to a lot of shows, lots of them.
Hello, England.
Yeah, so just share it. You know, mostly if you feel like getting a message out and our craziness. So, and yeah, it's an opinion show, so don't get it twisted. Keep coming back every Wednesday, Thursday, whenever I end up putting these out. Yeah, that's Tina, and I'm Rob. See you in a week. Talk to you later.
See
Bye.
ya.